Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Wigan Fan TV. A Wigan Fan TV that I've probably promised when we first started this would never be like Arsenal Fan TV. You would never have people on screen just ranting for an hour. But I can't promise that tonight after the news that broke today. And particularly, I can't promise that from Mr. Matt McCauley, who's very, very angry. He's a very angry man tonight. So joining me tonight, Matt in one corner, David in the other corner. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. Later on, we may be joined by the Wigan Runner. We may be joined by Stu. We may be joined by whoever wants to join us to log in. So if you see different faces...
I'd like Ralph Rimmer to join us.
So we've got lots to talk about tonight. Obviously, we've got the 2-point deduction, which is obviously going to take up a bit of time. Then we will focus, hopefully, on a bit more positive news of focusing on the St Helens preview show. But first of all, this is something that I know David's been wanting to sort of just do for a little bit of time. Just wants to pay tribute to Kaya, who passed away last week now. And I know, David, that it's important for you for various reasons. So over to you, David.
Yeah, I just think with everything, all the excitement of Super League season starting and everything, news coming thick and fast, especially the news today, sometimes it gets a little bit lost that at the end of the day it is just a game and other things are more important. As you said, Kaya Bowes last week passed away at the age of 82, heritage number 623. Played for Wigan, only played the once in 1963 against Hull KR, but as you can see with the image on the screen there, an iconic image of him on Central Park with a borrowed jacket. I actually know him. I was fortunate enough to meet him a few times. I actually worked with one of his daughters, Marissa, so know the family quite well. So yeah, a bit of a sad time, and thoughts out to his wife Linda, and obviously his children, Colin, Marissa, and Leslie, and their kids as well. I just think sometimes we can get angry, but there's other things going on that sort of bring it home, really. So just a little tribute to him.
Yeah, well said, David. That's very nice. I did actually meet him last year. He was a regular at the Memories Cafe at Central Park, which I know we've spoken about a bit in the past, which is a fantastic initiative. And he was certainly one of the people that attended there. I went to one with Colin Clark was speaking, and he was there. So, sad and I think poignant, like you said, David, although we're going to go on into a bit of a rant, like you said, there's far more important things to in life. And as Neil says there, he was a true gentleman. So very, very nicely put, David. Well done, and thank you for that. Stuart is about to join us. So if ever there was a time to lower the tone, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Stuart Minnis on screen. There we go. Good evening, Stuart.
Morning, shot. Afternoon, shot.
Morning. Wow. Wow. Yeah, wow, indeed. This is going to be interesting. Right, let's get straight into this. So the news today is obviously we're going to be deducted 2 points from the start of the 2019 Super League season for its salary cap infringements from 2 seasons ago. Now, the salary cap infringement was about £14,000, which they're attributing to flight costs and agent fees. Matt, you're a very, very angry man. I'll let you start. Just we've got Matthew Mellin in the background as well. I know Matthew can see me. Matthew, we'll bring you onto the screen in just a moment. We'll get everybody's thoughts that are on the screen at the moment about the 2-point deduction. Away you go, Matt. How angry are you?
How angry? I am livid. I am absolutely. I've chewed at my own carpet, and I'm not actually talking literally about my carpet. That was a euphemism, obviously. But I
don't think that's any better.
Sorry. Are you honestly telling me what agents' fees and some flight costs? I'll tell you what, salary cap Hitlers. Why stop there? I mean, look, how much toilet roll do the players use in the club toilets? Surely every sheet of that should count towards the cap. Why not? I mean, obviously that would mean that Tony Clubb would be practically unemployable. But the fact is, it shouldn't be working like this. The salary, it's there to make life fair. You're angry at the
RFL, though. You're angry at the RFL. Does Ian Lenigan, does Chris Radlinski, does the Wigan club have to ultimately take responsibility for this, though?
Perhaps some responsibility, but no more than they've taken. In that they've issued an apology. I need to calm down. Hang on. They've issued an apology. They've pointed out quite clearly what has gone wrong, right? And when you read the club statement, it's, it seems, quite fair and square, to be honest. It was a mistake. It shouldn't have happened, but it did at a very trying time. The idea that you get 2 points deducted at the beginning of a season 2 years later. Has anybody got any Alka-Seltzer?
David, your initial thoughts...
Would it count on the cap?
Yeah, probably. David, your initial thoughts to the deduction of 2 points. Are you angry at the RFL? Do you think it's fair? Is it proportionate? This is the third time that Wigan have been deducted points, or certainly been in breach of the salary cap, haven't they? So is this not just fair game, and Wigan should have learned the lessons from the first two?
Yeah, sorry, Sean. I was just sorting my flights out for Catalans. I've just found a cost code that they said that's not used at Wigan anymore. So I spent about 14 grand 2 years ago on it for some flights, and nobody's batted an eyelid. No.
By the way, David, we can only see your chin at the minute. I mean, it's a very nice chin, but there we go.
There's no. I'm not angry about it, to be honest with you. It is what it is. It's 2 points, and if you look at the grand scheme of things, is 2 points going to stop us from getting in the top five at the end of the season? No. I'm sorry, there's not 5 teams better than Wigan in Super League, regardless of all the changes. So, for me, will it stop us winning the League Leaders' Shield? Possibly, but ask Saints and Castleford how much they enjoyed having the League Leaders' Shield the last 2 seasons. So it's not. They've punished us, and I was reading up earlier, and it's. In context compared to what we were last time, I think, did we get fined £50,000 for an £80,000 breach or something similar, and 2 points. So in context, it looks a bit harsh, but it is what it is. We're going to have explained what it is. They've come out and made the right thing with it being an administrative error and changing staffing and personnel. So it's all well and good, but we've got a target on our head anyways, haven't we? Being champions and being Wigan, so it's going to give us a lot more grief, I think, from opposition fans, all the Saints fans and Wire fans and Castleford fans in particular, who've never forgiven us from when it happened last time. So something that will be talked about for years to come, won't it? But I'm not worried by it. Hopefully it'll sort of make us a little bit stronger again. And as Spencer said there, it's just siege mentality. If it brings the players together and goes, you know what, let's show them all. Let's show all the other clubs and show the RFL. It's not going to let it affect us. So. It's not, I don't think it's particularly fair, but I'm not worrying about it. It's done. We've accepted it. Let's move on.
Okay. Stu, your thoughts on it? And while Stu's speaking, I'm going to substitute David for the Wigan runner, Matthew Mellon, in just a second, just to get him onto the screen as well. So, David, if you disappear, I will bring you back. Stu, your initial reactions to Wigan being deducted 2 points. You might not even have heard of it. You might have been busy with your patios.
I was out there. Well, I'll be honest with you. The old group was pinging like crazy, and I thought, they signed a new player. Someone's gone off here. And when I scrolled back, and I thought, all right. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not bothered. 2 points. When you look at like Keithley, who's got 5. Maybe we could have had a K-State answer, but 2 points. And as you say, we don't want that hubcap, do we? You know what I mean? The main thing is the big thing at the end of the day. So I'm not really bothered, to be honest with you.
It's not the points that bothers me, Stu. It's the damage, again, to Wigan's reputation, which I don't think is deserved in this case.
It's the points that really worry me. It's just disproportionate. 0.8% over the salary cap. And as Phil Wilkinson said in his opinion piece that he did, St Helens a few years ago were exactly the same, 0.8% over the salary cap, and they got an £18,000 fine and 0 points deducted. I mean, is it just a case that Wigan, this is third time for Wigan, they should have learnt the lesson, but I mean, Stu, you're saying you're not bothered about it. Are you sort of the opinion that you just get on with it now, start of the season, siege mentality? Does it give us more motivation for the Saints game?
Yeah, I think it does. As you say, it's more motivation for tomorrow night, really, isn't it? First game in. Let's go there and let's get back to 0. And then let's get 2 points plus against our Yorkshire people for our home game.
Yorkshire people.
Yeah,
nicely put.
You keep Yorkshire people
in that patio.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, well, that's another thing. But I'll be honest with you, I think it's a great motivation talk for tomorrow night, do we? Do you know what I mean? And
I think that's a really good bit, isn't it? Yeah. Team talk's already written for tomorrow. Prove everybody wrong. Goes against the world. Perfect siege mentality. Matthew, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear us all right? Can we hear you? Let's have a see.
Loud and too clear.
Too clear, okay. What number are we up to tonight? What number run is it, Matthew?
It'll be 760 tonight.
Wow, and you're not being out yet?
No. It's looking like it's turning twice as well out there soon, so I need to get it done quite quickly. I wish I did it this afternoon really well. The snow was still out. I love running in the snow, but my Achilles says otherwise at the moment. But we'll find a way. We'll do it at some point tonight.
You always do find a way. Matthew, your thoughts on this, your initial reaction to Wigan being deducted 2 points. Do you see it as being a big issue? As me and Matt are clearly very upset, but everybody else is a bit relaxed about it.
Well, basically what Stu just said, and David, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think if this was 6 points or 8 points, it would be like, okay, that's going to become a definite issue at the end of the season when you look at the positions that we're going to finish in. But because it's 2, I think that if anything, that's just going to act as more motivation for the team. Look, it might end up becoming at the end of the season, we fall 2 points short or 1 point short, and it changes our position for where we finish up. But I think it can only act as more motivation for us. And I have to say, cause it's the 3rd time that we've broken the rule, is that right?
Yeah.
I think we've done all right only getting a 2-point deduction when we've clearly not learned our lesson. It could and should have been a lot more, regardless of what percentage we've gone over. If we broke the rule, it's just like with the drugs thing. I think if someone cheats through drugs, you should get banned for life. If we've broken this rule 3 times, we've come up all right. I think we haven't learned our lesson, so I think it's not a big deal at all. And for this to happen just before the first game of the season, it's the big ump that we need for motivation for the big game tomorrow. So I think it's not a big deal at all.
Matt, it's just me and you. We're the grumpy old men here. I'm absolutely furious. Me and Matt were on just before everybody came on, and we were just like 2 bitter old men talking about it. I mean, Matt, we'll talk amongst ourselves. We'll be angry together. Yeah. Is this a conspiracy theory? Is everything lined up? So I think it was Tony that put on here. No World Cup game. That was announced yesterday. Is that a kick in the teeth against Wigan? Are we paying the price for Ian Lenigan's rebellion and revolution against the RFL? And then the day before the start of a new era, what are we talking about? We're not talking about the new era. We're not talking about Wigan and Saints. We're not talking about Hull against Hull KR. We're not talking about Warrington and Leeds. We're talking about the RFL taking over the publicity for what should be the start of a new era in Super League. Get angry, Matt. Your turn.
I am angry. I don't need to get any more angry. And obviously, it can't be a conspiracy theory because surely the RFL wouldn't. Even Ralph Rimmer sat there with his Fisher-Price playset. Even he wouldn't be so bloody minded as to instigate some kind of attack on Wigan just because Ian Lenigan's broke away with the Super League. And Ian Lenigan's got the Super League under his arm and he's running towards the try line with it. That's not even the case.
Just to answer Stuart's point that he's put on here, he says, I'm curious how this has been allowed to happen. The cap is supposed to be live, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely, Stuart. And I think that's one of the things. The problem is Wigan didn't declare this as part of the cap. And when this is how I understand it, anyway, I may be wrong, but they were questioned, should these expenses not be against the cap? Initially, apparently, they said no. I think Wigan are sort of disputing the fact that they originally said no. When they were questioned again, I think all but one of the costs, they've said, yes, that should have been put against the cap. So I don't think it's the fact that the live caps failed. I think it's the fact that Wigan haven't assigned a particular or a group of expenses against the live cap. And yeah, you're absolutely right. This shouldn't really happen, but it is an administrative error. Neil touches on this. Neil says he's fuming. Thanks, Neil. Thanks for getting angry. Let's say a club is up to the max and a player had to return to Australia due to a family emergency. The cost of that flight could put them over. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, if you remember back in the 2017 season, Romain Navarrete, for family reasons, went back over to France and started playing for Catalans again. You know, who's to say that these weren't flights for Romain Navarrete? We don't know what the flights were for. It could have just been, let's go over to Australia and do some scouting. We don't know. We're speculating. But David, do you not think that in itself is, one, inhumane, and two, how on earth does that affect the players' performance? We have not cheated any other team on the field. We lost 6 games in a row. What was it? We played God knows however many kids in that season. We finished below Wakefield, for goodness sake. We didn't trouble anyone. We were just a sleeping giant for that season. Let's just
address the Romain Navarrete flying back to France for family emergency reasons. Are we sure that Mr. Macaulay wasn't in his garden at that time, and it was just terrified for his life?
So are you saying that Matt is to blame for the 2-point deduction?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
Hang on.
I like where you're going.
Can I just say that one of the reasons...
Oh, the wrong show.
Hold my pie. One of the reasons why I feel such affection for Romain Navarrete is because he was clearly homesick, had family issues, had to return to France, and I didn't really expect him to... I wouldn't expect anybody to then have the balls to come back to Wigan and resume where he left off. And I think that says a lot for the Wigan club and for Mr. Navarrete himself, right? And if the cost of those flights had anything to do with this, let's not talk about angry. Let's talk about burning down RFL HQ.
Oh, label. Oh, please don't let anything happen to RFL HQ soon.
Yeah, that would be tragic, wouldn't it? Tony puts the point there. In that season, there was 51 appearances from juniors. We had an injury crisis. We had that illness. We got battered by, again, I'm not picking on Wakefield, but I am. We got battered by Wakefield. I can understand it if we went 14 grand over the salary cap and we won the Challenge Cup, we won the Super League, and we paid for an extra player to come over from Australia. But we didn't fill that gap that we had with injuries with players, did we?
No, I think, Sean, as well, it's a valid point. I think with this, the RFL have probably given themselves people, asking a lot. There's a lot more questions than answers to be had because that, as you're saying, it's a bit ridiculous. Flights for players would count towards the salary cap. So it's not you're not sending them, to America to get some wonderful technology that's going to improve the performances. So there's a lot more questions to, what else does it cover? What else doesn't it cover? I think there needs to be a bit more clarity or, a bit more visibility from the RFL on what other things it would cover and what it wouldn't cover, because I don't think anybody that's reported on it today was aware that all these things counted against it.
And I think the biggest issue today was I don't think any of us as fans were expecting it as news, really, were we?
Nope.
The club obviously knew about it since last Friday, and then all of a sudden it just hits the news. I got a text saying 2 points deducted, and I thought they were talking about Leeds United because of the Spygate thing, and I just went onto BBC, and I was absolutely shocked to see that it said Wigan's name against it. We're going to draw a line over it. I'm going to bring Stuart back in a second once he's woken up. He still thinks it's the morning. He's there, sort of not quite bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but I want to leave not to add fuel to any fires about any conspiracy theories, but Spencer has put exactly how I would have liked to have put this. Now, I'm not accusing anybody, but Spencer says maybe the Wire players' wives could lend us some of the cash from their lucrative jobs sharpening pencils one day a month. How Warrington have managed to never, ever have any fine or any ban or anything like that from their salary cap. How could they possibly have afforded to sign Josh Charnley back from rugby union last year? I think the spotlight needs to move from Wigan for a temporary period of time and hang it over towards the Cheshire area to a particular Simon Moran. And David's going to come back to me and say, no, Warrington's all above board. I live near everybody. Don't accuse Warrington of anything that's bad. Because I've got to go to work tomorrow.
No, I wasn't going to say that. It's a valid point, and I do fear for my safety. But to me, it also shows, as you say, with Warrington not being picked on and other clubs not being being done for breaches. Saints have in the past, and obviously Salford have a couple of seasons ago. But to me, it does show that Wigan are operating to those guidelines, because the fact that they have made an error and it's ticked them over by 12, 13, 14 grand at various stages of the year. That shows to me that we are operating and playing by those rules. So, yeah, we made a mistake. Yes, we've been found out. Yes, we've been punished. But at least it shows that we're doing the right thing. I think, like you said, with Warrington, we're never having a sniff of any salary cap discrepancies. Then what is going on there? So ignoring Warrington.
Even St Helens have been fined, haven't they? Like I said earlier, you know, these are clubs that have brought quality players in. And
so you're saying that Warrington are all okay because they bury their bodies deeper under the patio?
I just think they've got a better accountant. Rob says, wasn't Charnley a marquee signing? I don't think he was he, Rob?
I don't think so.
Rob, the Castleford fan, I mean, if he was, then they probably want a refund for that. But anyway, enough of that. Let's draw a line under it. David, I'm taking you off the screen for a time because you're far too positive, and I'm going to bring Stuart back, who looks more miserable and angry and feels like he can join us. Although, right, before we talk about the Saints game, a minute, Stuart, for you. Tell us about how much you enjoyed the game at Barrow in the mud bath.
Well, wet, damp, good game. Well, what you can say, mud wrestling.
And what about the rugby game?
No comment. Yeah, it was good. It was a good game. Just a shame that on the way down, weather was all right, but as soon as I got there, the heavens opened, and it was just. I thought, here we go. This is going to be like the old winter game of rugby and the thing and that. But I don't know for you guys seeing it on Wigan TV, but oh man, it was absolutely abysmal. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. It was a good leveler, and you know, but I was with the guy. I was shocked to see that our friend Joe Bullock didn't get a game. It was standing about 2 or 3 yards away from us. I was tempted to ask him about the race horse thing, but I thought no, better not. But no, that's another thing for another time. But no, did enjoy it, and they did bring a few of us tamers up, which was good to see, you know. And I tell you what, I was really, really impressed with Hankinson. You know what I mean? I really was impressed with him.
Former Barrow player, of course, as well, Chris Hankinson. So let's move on to the St Helens game. Fringe players put in an impressive performance. Matthew, I don't know if you need to go running soon, so I'm going to ask you questions about St Helens. First of all, first game of the season. How excited are you to be coming up against our nearest and dearest for first up tomorrow night?
It's brilliant, isn't it? It's the best sport in the world. It's back again. I love it this time of year. You know, when you see the videos on Twitter and Facebook from the RFL, and like it just gets you excited every season, doesn't it? It's going to be awesome, isn't it? I hope that the game goes ahead. I've read a few things about the pitch and that, and I'll just give a bit of clue as well for day run 761. I've got something planned to do with the game tomorrow.
Excellent.
But yeah, that one tomorrow. It's going to be awesome, isn't it? And the fact that it's a derby game for the start of the season just makes it even better, doesn't it? It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see how our new team gels together tomorrow as well. To be honest, I think even if we lose tomorrow, as long as no one gets injured, the focus is on the World Club Challenge game for me. It won't bother me if we lose tomorrow, as long as we account ourselves well. You know, we're going to play St Helens again the rest of the season. I know I shouldn't really say that because the derby game is so big, but, you know, the World Cup Challenge is something that we only get a chance at every so often. So as long as no one gets injured and we're getting ready to peak for that, that's the main thing at this point. But yeah, I'm so excited for what's coming ahead in February as well.
Honestly, Matthew, you are the most positive person. You're an inspiration.
He's amazing, isn't he?
You could find something positive to say again about Brexit, I'm sure. Everything has to be a positive spin. If anybody sees Matthew running tonight or running, I guess, near the St Helens area tomorrow, get him a warm drink or something, warm him up. We need to look after him and look after his Achilles as well. Matt, you... one person that misses out, I know this is something else that I want to get Matt angry about. A person that isn't in the 19-man squad and misses out tomorrow is my friend Jared Sammett. And as soon as he got the ban, I had to have a shave just because I was disgusted that he would go and do such an act, a physical push against a referee. It's ridiculous, isn't it, Matt?
No, it's not. He fully deserves a 2-game ban for that because he made contact with a referee. And this is what has wound me up about this, okay? All the apologists, right, saying, oh, well, it was only a little touch. He touched a referee. He made physical contact with a referee. And somebody online, I don't know who it was, and I apologise because I am angry and I'm probably taking it out on them a bit, but somebody said something like, oh, you can't even brush a referee's arm these days. Why would you want to? You freak. What's with brushing a referee's arm? When was that a thing? When did I miss out on this halcyon golden age where everyone was brushing referees' arms? Were referees hairy back then?
You've just managed to make the last 30 seconds sound like an extract from the report of Operation U-Tree.
I'm not saying Sam went that far in touching the referee.
Or brushing him. The good old days when you could get away with it.
Well, that was probably the 70s, wasn't it? And that's when it all seemed to go on. And to be fair, people were hairier then and more brushable. I mean, these days players have got beards; they're all trimmed, aren't they? And back in the 70s, if you had a beard, it was like a Sasquatch was raping your face. But the point is, Samet touched a referee, and he forgot the golden rule. If you're going to approach a referee, you do it from front on. You don't come from the side because they've got poor eyesight, haven't they? That spooks them if you come from the side. You've got to come straight up front and touch them. That's where we went wrong. 2-game ban, absolutely justified. Rant over.
Do you not think, Stu, let me come to you. Do you not think that it's just so soft? The referee was in his... All right, Jared Samet, I think, was trying to play... He was play acting about trying to get to, I don't know if it was Jackson Hastings or something. He was looking like he was going to do it. And I think he was just basically using the referee as a human shield. But it's a pre-season friendly. He didn't get banned for it. So he picks up a suspension from a game in the pre-season. But one of his games can't be in the pre-season because all the clubs have somehow decided it. Like, what? Stu, do you think it's a fair enough ban? Or are you with me? And this is bloody ridiculous as well.
It is crackers, innit? Do you know what I mean? Unless he's like smacked him right between the eyes. Fair enough, too much banner. But like, come on. You know what I mean, Matt? It's like, you know what I'm saying, Matt McCauley, yeah? You know what I mean? You're in agreement.
Ronnie the Rhino has not forgotten you.
Hey, no bother, lad. I'll go and see him. That's not a problem. That's another thing. But listen, I'll tell you now, like, touching him, fair enough. Give him a warning. Even fine him, for God's sake. But giving the guy too much ban, oh, come on, get a grip, It's out of order. I'm sorry.
You can't touch referees, Stu.
It's a pre-season game, though. Like Stu said, just talk to him and just say, Mr. Samet, if you do that again during the regular season.
Sean, that is like Jimmy Savile saying, well, it was only in a rehearsal.
Oh, here we go. You mentioned it, didn't you? You brought Jimmy Savile into it. We were skirting around it. We were teasing with it. We mentioned Operation U-Tree, but there he goes. He goes and lowers the tone, and all the viewers have just dropped off. Well done, Matt. Brilliant.
I'm sorry.
Right, I'm going to bring David back in. He'll have something sensible to say. I'll speak to you in a second, Stu. I'm not substituting you, but I'm angry at Matt now. Right, let's talk seriousness about the game. 19-man squads. I'm going to put the 19-man squad across the bottom in just a second. David, it looks like from Twitter that Joe Bullock will be playing a part. He's been presented with his debut jersey today, so that perhaps is one piece of the puzzle that's in place. Who misses out for you from the 19-man squad, David?
Tautai, possibly. Probably, I wouldn't like to say Escaré, but I think Escaré probably will. I think he'll probably stick with
Trident. Is that a cat that's just joined you?
It is, yeah. it's just Ted.
What is going on?
You look like a Bond villain.
Well, no.
I've been expecting you, Mr. Macaulay.
I think. Sorry, Sean. I'm just witnessing the death of Wigan TV tonight, aren't we? What's going on?
Wigan TV, probably, but definitely not Wigan Fan TV. We fight on. Right, who misses out, David? So Tautai.
I think Tautai.
Possibly carrying a knock.
Yeah. Even if he wasn't carrying a knock, I think Escaré possibly miss out. I think it would probably stick with the tried and tested of Powell and Luluai sort of spelling themselves. Sort of hooker. But yeah, they're the two from me, especially when you look at pre-season and what's gone on. I think the Salford game was probably the biggest indicator of what the team was going to look like reading between the lines. So I think Hardacre will be being at full-back. He seems to be tearing it up, and then the usual.
Then move to centre?
No, I don't think they will. I think they'll probably stick with, Gildart and Sargison in the centres. I don't think they'll. I think Hardacre's probably nailed on to be the starting fullback, and Escaré will be used sparingly, unfortunately. But if Hardacre plays to his potential, then it's not a problem, is it? If Hardacre, we could have a real gem on our hands if he has turned a corner. And like I said, when I was at the pre-season, at the season launch meal, Hardacre impressed me a lot.
Go on, carry on. When I was at the pre-season dinner.
when I was at the pre-season dinner, courtesy of yourself, Sean, and then won a VIP meal in the raffle as well before the Leeds game. But no, but Hardacre impressed me. And if he has turned a corner, what a player we've got there.
Matthew, I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'm going to substitute you just in case you do need to go for a run. I'm conscious that it's 8:30, and I don't want to be the person that ends the streak. What a night that would be! We just criticised everything, the RFL, and then we stop the Wigan runners streak, mainly because we go past midnight and he runs out of time to go for a run. Matthew, Don Manfredi's picked up an injury. He's got fluid on his knee. He misses the opening game, possibly a couple of games. Obviously, we spoke. I remember talking to you about his comeback and how he's inspirational. Do you think he's got the mindset to be able to come back from this stronger? And do you think it's just a case of he knows his body well enough to not risk it in the opening game of the season?
Well, look at what happened last season when he came back. It was just before the playoff. Was it the start of the playoffs when he came back? Just before the Super 8
game, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
And he was awesome, wasn't he? So if he's got this problem now with the fluid on his knee, take a rest and come back stronger from it. He'll be fine. Of course, he's old enough and mature enough now to understand his body. So even though I'm not someone that rests when I should do, he's doing the right thing for longevity. So he's he'll come back stronger, of course he will, from it. And is he going to be out for the World Cup Challenge? I don't know. Do we know if he's going to be back for then?
I don't think they know yet. I mean, it's fluid on the knee. I guess they're just waiting for the swelling to go down and hoping that it's nothing serious, really. So hopefully he'll get that opportunity.
Yeah, I hope so for his sake as well. I think he deserves it, especially how he played at the end of he played it in the last season, obviously in the grand final as well. He'll be fine, I'm sure, with it.
Matthew, I'm gonna wish you good luck on your run tonight. I'm gonna wish you good luck running potentially through the streets of St Helens tomorrow. Make sure you don't wear a Wigan shirt if you are going to be running through there.
Just run faster.
Just run faster. Matthew, thank you for joining us. I'm going to substitute you. Enjoy your run, keep the streak going, and continue being the inspiration that you are. That Mr. Clark Kent, as I call you.
See you all later. Thanks, guys.
See you, Matthew.
See you, Matthew.
Right, let's bring Stu back in. Matt, your thoughts on the game? Firstly, who would you go with in terms of the squad? Who misses out for you? Is it a case of Tausai misses out and then Escaré, and we go for a big pack on the bench?
I think Tausai might miss out, but I don't know what's the deal with Escaré's injury. He
a calf strain, I think, wasn't it?
So
playing in the mud.
I don't know. The trouble is, we're trying to get inside Adrian Lamb's head now, aren't we? And we spent so much time getting inside Sean Wayne's head that it's a new mindset. I genuinely don't know what the team's going to look like tomorrow. Within the 19 that we know already. So let's just see what happens.
I mean, I think David. I think David alluded to it, didn't it? In terms of, I think the biggest indication was perhaps that Salford game. I think the fact that Tausai and Escaré both started at Barrow probably gives you the idea that at this moment in time they're probably both fighting to get back into that squad. Tausai really struggled after that suspension against Catalans, the game that we were doing our live vlog at, Matt. He got a suspension for 4 games after that game and then never really got back into the squad, missed out on the grand final. I think his confidence has taken a massive hit from that. But obviously, it's a long season. We're going to get the opportunity. Stu, you mentioned him just before. Mr. Joe Bullock looks like he's going to be making his debut tomorrow. How excited are you to see Jockey Bullock making his debut?
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Just like fairy tales, innit? well done to the kid, you know, for what he's done and coming in and doing that. I just feel a bit, as you say, I just feel a bit sad for Tuta, really. You know what I mean? What you're on about with the ban on that, and obviously his confidence is low, but it should get back there. Like, but I just hope so, because when we were down on, you're on about before, when you were down on numbers in 2017, he was one of them with like Willie Isard and all them boys that was like, they kept ticking over. Do you know what I mean? When you're on about before, about injuries and that. And it's a shame really now, because he's going to miss out. And but as you say, two years ago, he was the one that was in there and plodding along, keeping things going. You know, but these things happen, don't they, unfortunately?
Absolutely. I just put the comment on here from Josie Andrews. She makes a really good point. I feel sorry for Esquire. He's never let us down any time he's played for Wigan. I think that's a really good point, Josie, and I echo that 100%. I think most Wigan fans will right behind you there, Josie. I support you 100% in what you're saying. Matt, let's get score predictions. Stop laughing at me, David. Let's get score predictions, and then we'll come over to see what Matt's got going for going for us for the 2019 season. Stu, your score prediction, please.
28. 24.
28-24. First try scorer, Stu? Not that I ever remember and hold you accountable to it, but
Joe Greenwood.
Joe Greenwood, nice. David?
26-12. First try scorer, Gildart, Golden Edge.
Golden Edge, nice. Matt?
I reckon St Helens 18, Wigan 25.
Is a drop goal by?
A drop goal, Navarrete.
Naturally. I'm going to go for the first game of the season being the first Golden Point game of the season as well. I'm going 13-12 Wigan in Golden Point extra time. And obviously the drop goal will come from Romain Navarrete, naturally. Josie asked what's Matt tittering on about. Honestly, Josie, he just cracked me up before, and don't worry about it. We're talking about Esquire. He's just an absolute idiot, isn't he? Talking of Matt being an idiot.
With me again.
Quite possibly. Matt, new season, same old rap.
Same old rap. But I'm a little bit out of practice, so bear with me. It's been a long time since I blinged up. Okay. Need to find my note. Me. Here comes the rap.
It is all about you.
I'm a Wigan fan. The new season now begins. At first we play the Saints and we're going for the win. They're looking rather smug over on Red V. We're already 2 points down, paying for an agent's in-flight movie. And Saints have been quite smart in replacing Barber. They hope to tear us apart with Coote and Kevin Agama. But we've recruited 2 new players we have bought. One's already banned, but probably not the one we thought. What did Sam do? Hey, why is he looking so sad? Hey, touch the referee. Hey, that really is quite bad. But we've got Zach at the back, Clibb and Benny in the pack, Locker's pulling all the strings, and Williams will attack. Well, let's get this season off to a start we won't forget. Yeah, Jockey Bullet is quite quick, but I still love Navarrete. So, put your hands in the air, let me hear you say, we're going to beat the Saints because we play the Lammy way. Put your hands in the air, let me hear you say, we're going to beat the because we play the Lammy way. Wigan, yeah.
Brilliant. I like it. 2019 remix there, Matt. Brilliant. The fact that I know for a fact that you had to, when you were busy trying to teach an RE lesson, get the 2 points deduction in. And
it's in there.
And those kids in 10 years' time will be, why do I not have any GCSEs? But they can look back at this and they can know, well, at least my teacher could go on and rap on Wigan Fan TV.
That will be more than enough consolation for them.
I think it'll be more than a consolation for them, Matt. Anybody would like to add anything else? We've got lots of predictions coming through on there. Thank you everybody for watching. We've got an oddballs competition on the page as well. We've got loads of oddballs stuff to give away. We've got some exciting Wigan Fan TV branded oddballs stuff coming in the next few weeks as well, which is nice and exciting, I guess. So, Stuart, thank you very much for joining me. David, thank you for both being ridiculously happy.
I didn't do my Red V rant.
Oh, sorry. Over to you.
Seeing as Matt mentioned Red V, yeah, interesting. I know we spoke about it last night, but just one of the guys that writes for our dearly beloved Red V wrote an interesting little blog. So a bit of niggle to it, but I won't mention the Wayne comment that wound me up more than anything. I mean, they were probably laughing in Red V Towers, high sixing each other as they do. But yeah, just Flower and club, despicable selves. I mean, why have they got a problem with Ben Flower? They should be grateful to Ben Flower, because if it wasn't for Ben Flower, they wouldn't have won the 2014 Grand Final. So they should be nice to him. Club's not despicable, is he? And then, niggly
Club's lovely.
Niggly pest-like awfulness of John Bateman. Niggly pest-like. And then ticking time bomb Zach Hardacre. I mean, they might have a point on that one, but it's a bit rich coming from a club that gave Ben Barber, his game time back, and they got what they deserved with that one. Just hope that Zach repays us. So, yeah, I think we need to get some beef going with Red V. I think Matt's the man to lead the way.
It sounds to me, David, like they've just found a thesaurus. That's what's going on there.
David's comments are not necessarily the opinions of Wigan Fan TV. They could be. But, yeah, so you want to start some beef with Red V TV?
I think we should,
Okay, right, okay. So everything that was, nice last year, we had 2 shows with them. They turned up late for the second show. They logged in 14 times on the first show.
No, Sean, it's all right. We'll be nice to their faces.
Yes. Can you imagine? David, are you going to the game tomorrow?
Just don't tell them about this.
I'm not going to the game tomorrow. I've got Daisy with me tomorrow. So
I assume for everybody that's on the screen, it's going to be me that goes to the game tomorrow, and it's going to be me that gets cornered. But I'm going to be walking down some dark alley, and somebody's going to say, "You're that guy who was brilliant."
Have you not got your branded oddball stuff yet? Your polo shirts and that, because you could wear that just to stand out even more. That'd be amazing.
Go in the Mighty Max suit. You'll be all right, lad. They'll be safe that way. Go in the Mighty Max.
Go in the Mighty Max. Just steal the Mighty Max suit. You've got a fetish for mascots or something. You really, really have. God help St Bernard. It's a good job your name's not Joel. Right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. David, I was saying goodbye to you. Thank you again 2 nights in a row for joining us. If you haven't seen Matt's show from last night, it's over on YouTube and it's on the Facebook page. Mr. Matt McCauley, as always, thank you very much. And a very impressive return to form with your 2019 rap. I like how you've managed to change Wigan to Lammy. What have we got? The syllables don't match, but somehow you made it work, Matt.
It got in there.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next week, next Wednesday, 8 o'clock, for the Leeds preview, when we'll be celebrating the fact that Wigan are on 0 points. Thank you, everybody, for watching.